Hey fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about my latest build. I purchased this military trailer. It's an M1101. I can show you the placard here. You can kind of get an idea of some of its specs. And then right here, I don't know if you can see any of that. I'll pause it for a second so you can read it, and it gives some of the specs. But what it is a 1101 military trailer I bought. It had canvas and hoops on it, and I wanted to make a overlanding trailer. And if you price some of these little cheesy teardrop trailers, it's just like, oh my god, 20 grand, and it's nothing. This thing is 100% aluminum. It's all huck fastened. I mean, the construction of this is just amazing, actually. So it does have the lunette with surge brake. The surge brake works, so I just decided to keep it. Here we have two brakes, one on each side, hand brakes. So when you pull those, each one locks a wheel. So the stands here remove and go in the rear and set up for stability, so that between these in the rear, the wheels, and then the actual front jack hoist, it's incredibly stable. You can see the orange highlights I did because it matches my Gladiator Mojave. So I kind of redid all the reflectors, everything in orange. The material, see if you can see it. What I did was I bed lined this steen gray, which is the same color as the Gladiator. So that's done in steen gray. I use a really high-end 3/4 inch plywood for the top portion. Going down the side here, this corrugation makes it incredibly strong. Put a new set of tires. I took the wheels off, had them powder coated. They were that nasty looking green color. Powder coated, I redid the brakes, I repacked the wheel bearings, everything, brand new tires, torqued. This was OD green, and it still is way underneath, but I got the wheel wells black to kind of make it look good. You know, underneath nobody really sees unless you crawl under there. Coming around over here, I mounted a plug. This is a 110 plug, so you can go to shore power, and then the shore power leads you inside and you can plug stuff in. This is a strap here I used to hold the door so the wind can't blow it. You can see all the reflectors were removed, all the bulbs were cleaned, all the housings were painted. Coming around to the back, I had to put a door bumper here so the door wouldn't hit the glass and break. All the D-rings are in place. These are the knobs here that those front orange jacks I showed you slide on. They go down to the ground, and it just makes it incredibly stable. Now the back of it, see if I can get back far enough. Shut the door here. So the back of it is a big piece of plywood, and then what I did was the roof is mounted back a ways, and it makes for like a little 6-inch overhang, maybe to keep some water off. But I installed a door. I put a really beefy aluminum handle to help get in. You can see I put a porch light. So the porch light, if you come down here and look, I mounted a switch. And then basically what that does is that switch turns the porch light on and off. So I did that. Coming on around to this side, notice I did not put a window on this side. I'm just still debating that. It was such a pain to put the window in, but I'm still debating. Up on the roof, let's see if I can get a picture up here. I have a 360 watt solar panel, and then if you look up, I put a remote control Fantastic fan. The roof material is a membrane. So I didn't paint it. I bought this rubber membrane that glues on. and that covers the entire roof. But this panel is massive. The panel is almost 5 feet wide. It's almost a 5 by 3, I think. But you can see the panel. Now we come inside. You can see the door has its own individual screen door. So if you want to just open the door and have screen, you can do it. We go inside and I put a LED dome light, and then I come over to the side, and I'm going to put a picture in the description, or a picture, but the walls are 2 inches thick, and I used that foam. I used this 2-inch foam, and you can see it's pretty thick. So that lines all the walls and the roof. It's fully insulated. And then I took the slat panel. I had to buy a stupid thing called a brad nailer. I had to do furring strips, and then I took and we did the entire interior with this slat wood. And then once you're done with that, we did polyurethane, a semi-gloss polyurethane to seal the wood. Now we went with bunk beds on this. 30 inches by 78 inches, I believe is what the mattresses measure. And the reason why I didn't do one big long bed, if I did that, you could sleep in here and you're done. This way, I have all this room. And you can sit there, you can sit on that hump, and what we have is we have a portable table that we set up right here in the center, and you can actually just sit in here, you can eat, you can do whatever. And I'm really glad I did the bunk bed style. If I don't like it, it's just riveted in. I can just unrivet it and reconfigure. But I really thought the bunk bed style would be the way to go to create additional room for other stuff. Now, if we come on inside, you can see the Fantastic fan. And that thing is amazing. Here's the remote control. I mounted on a magnet. So we just sit there and click it and the thing goes up, down, rain sensor. It was like a $350 one, but it does everything and it's all automatic. Now over to my power distribution system. Man, I'm still learning about the solar thing, and I'm not going to say it's complicated, but I just went to YouTube University for like a month and trying to design this. And what I essentially have is power coming off the cell comes into the cell disconnect. And from the cell disconnect, it comes around to the MPPT solar charge controller. This does what it does with the power, and then the power comes out and goes to the battery, these two. So it comes around to a 100 amp breaker and straight to the battery, and this is the ground. This is the ground that goes straight to the battery. This one goes up, breaker, to the battery. So in from the solar out to the battery. This one is 12 volt distribution. This one goes up here to my 12 volt fuse box, and then it powers the lights, Fantastic fans, rear light. Over here, I put this in because the wife's like, how do I charge my cell phone? So I got a little charger here, USB charger. They're both 2.1 amps. And then right here is like a cigarette lighter. I don't know what I'll use that for, but that's just how it came. And I can individually shut this on or off. And then what I have here is I didn't go with one of those LiPo for iron oxide, whatever batteries. You know what? That was $1,000 just for a 100 amp hour battery. So I purchased a higher end AGM solar battery. It was $200 and it's 115 amp hour. All I'm doing right now, you can see on my meter, I'm drawing 0.7 amp from having this giant LED light on, 0.7 amp. And when I turn the Fantastic fan on, it's like 1 or 2 amps. I mean, it doesn't draw a whole lot. I just didn't need a crazy battery. because what happens is, if I come over here to this side, this is my 110 shore power piggy tail, and we have a generator, and we just plug the generator in on the outside, and all the AC and the 110 heater gets run here. So a couple of LED lights and a little fan. I just didn't see the need to go with a gigantic battery. Now, that being said, yeah, I am going to get one of those batteries, because what I'm learning is these AGM batteries can only be discharged so far, and those lithium batteries can be, even though it's 100 amp hour, you can get a lot more energy out of it because you can discharge them even lower, is my understanding. But programming the solar charge controller, oh my god, it was a pain in the rear. So that's it for the solar. We also, if we come back here, I did put a carbon monoxide and smoke detector. I figure, you know what, we got to be safe. Why not? But you can see the wood. I'm glad I went the semi-gloss. The glossy, I think, would have been really, really too shiny. But I'll be cleaning these wires up. I gotta strap the battery box down. I gotta do a few other things so when I go off-road, things aren't bouncing and moving. Gosh, I don't know what else to tell you. I still got some trim to do and some various things. This floor here is this rubber mat, this rubber floor mat that I got from Harbor Freight. And I mean, gosh, it insulates. You walk on it, it sound deadens. It's nice. This carpet, which is horrible because it didn't stick good. I used a 3M spray-on adhesive. You buy this carpet, it's like for speaker boxes, and I just put it on the raw aluminum because it just looked nice. I bedlined the entire inside of this, but this really looks nice. It didn't adhere as well as I thought it would, so I got to go back and put a little more glue and a little more sticky. But so in the frame of it, I triangulated the 2x2 by 16 gauge tubing. What I'll do is I'll throw a couple of stills in on the video, and I'll show you how I triangulated that, and you'll get to see a little of underneath and what's behind the walls. This door here, wow, we blinked out. I don't know what happened. This window here is an exit window, so when we take and we open it, you can push it all the way out, you can pop the screen, and we can actually use it as the emergency exit. So I wanted us to be able to get out in case something weird was going on. So yeah, I thought, I don't know, safety first, right? Now if we come over here, I'm on the bottom, the wife's on the top, and what I have here is I put a little lamp. So if I'm underneath, and let's say she wants to go to bed, I can turn this light on under here, and I can like read a magazine or look at my phone or do whatever. And it's also motion. And the cool thing about it is it's magnetic, and it pulls right off. And you know, it's another one of those Amazon things. And then when you're done with it, it just sticks right back on. So that's kind of cool. These mattresses, 5-inch, I believe these are 5-inch, kind of a memory foam stuff off Amazon. We got sleeping bags. You know, you got a good 2 feet here, easy, and probably 2 feet. I tried to put this somewhat in the middle, but yeah, this came unglued. I'm fixing to staple this down. The higher I went with the top bunk, because the sides are slanted in, it kept getting narrow and narrow and narrow. So I just went up high enough to where her mattress, I wouldn't have to trim it. And it worked out pretty good. Fantastic fan is amazing. Those of you who have RVs, fully automatic rain sensor, leave it open at night. Now it's on high, 100%. So at 100%, I'm pulling Let me turn the light on here. I'm pulling 2.3 amps. Now, if I go down, now I'm at 25%. So I got both LEDs on and 25% Fantastic Fan, and I'm pulling 0.8 amp. And oops, the light, it's on a 60-second timer. 0.8 amp, and that thing can run for a day or two, I think, on a 100 amp hour. I don't know all the math to it, but 0.8 amp, you can sleep at night, you can vent the dog breath, because my alligator, she just breathes heavy all the time, and you're good to go. All right, the battery's going dead. Thanks for watching. Have any questions, post them in the comments, and be safe. Bye.